Singapore, instead of saying, "What are you doing?" they say,
Hey, you doing what?
Hey, what you doing?
What are you doing? Or, you doing what?
Those examples mean "what are you doing?" but in various circumstances. Thus, what are those examples exactly? Those are Singlish. Singlish is an English-based Creole spoken by Singaporeans, mostly in informal occasions, like with friends or family. Singlish is developed by a long-term contact of speakers from many Asian languages, such as Singapore, Malay, Cantonese, Hokkien, Mandarin, Teochew, and Tamil. The Singlish itself is mixed from Singapore and English language. Its uniqueness is it mixes slang and syntax. This means that not only is Singlish ungrammatical, but also incomprehensible, especially for foreigners. Singlish initially appeared when Singapore established that English should be the language spoken by all of the ethnic communities after obtaining their independence 50 years ago. However, that was just the plan. As the communities began incorporating new vocabularies and grammatical patterns of English, things ended up slightly different. Singlish became the language of the street that is usually used for informal occasions. Meanwhile, English became the official lingua franca that is spoken in educational and business environments. Singlish became an expression of Singaporean character and culture. It's also a living example of how languages can change and develop.
There are several features distinguishing Singlish from other varieties of World Englishes. Singlish tend to add particles such as ah, lah, or leh. For instance, in Standard English we say, "Hey, this doesn't taste good." But in Singlish we say, this one not good leh. From the perspective of syntax, one of the apparent features in syntactical level is code switching within sentences. Since there are 4 official languages spoken in Singapore, it is inevitable that code switching will be the consequence of Singapore multilingualism. Second, there is addition of negative word after modal verb must. For example, "And we must not forget Mr. Manmattan." This sentence contains both code switching and its own syntactic feature. Mr. Manmattan means good-looking man. It is derived from Tamil, which is another official language spoken in Singapore. In terms of phonetic, all syllables have approximately equal length and stress. It sounds almost like a tone language in places. Some sounds are changed, and consonants at the ends of words are often dropped or reduced. For example, like that becomes like that. Conjugational and plural endings often disappear. There are quite a few loan words, such as kena, meaning get something bad, or syok, meaning very good, sian, meaning boring, pekcek, meaning annoyed or frustrated, and the last one is sia, which is used as an emphatic rather as we might use the word man.
As Singlish grows, problems are also growing. Some label Singlish as Singaporeans' identity, while some deplore it because it puts Singaporeans at disadvantage due to its lack of international intelligibility. Even their own government views Singlish as harmful to economic development. On the other hand, supporters of Singlish have defended place of Singlish by stating that Singlish is an essential part of local culture and heritage. Many Singaporeans grew up with Singlish, and many people mistook Singlish as Singaporeans' standardized language, which led to confusion in formal occasions. As cited from the National Library Board article about Singlish, Singlish is an informal, colloquial form of English in Singapore, as it mixes Malay, Tamil, Hokkien, and English. Many people outside of Singapore are confused facing it. Senior Minister Lee Kuan Yew also voiced his concern over the increasing use of Singlish during his speech at the Tanjong Pagar National Day celebration in 1999. He said that the importance of speaking and writing standard English is that we can understand the world and the world can understand us. Then, what's the point of a conversation if the one that understands Singlish are the Singaporeans themselves and the people who learn it? So, as a solution, the Singapore government launched the Speak Good English movement in 2000 to minimize the use of Singlish in formal occasions and to teach the Singaporeans the right standard English.
English was established as the official lingua franca in post-independence Singapore, but deceived and entailed some sacrifice. For the next few decades, Singaporeans struggled with both bilingualism and with speaking good English. In a 1999 report regarding Singapore's declining English proficiency in the Straits Times, some blamed the widespread usage of Singlish for the problem development. This provided the impetus for the launch of the Speak Good English movement in 2000, which emphasized the speaking of grammatically correct standard English. This also led to war against Singlish. Those who argued against Singlish appeared one by one and typically emphasized the pragmatic benefits of speaking standard English, both in terms of social mobility and personal gain. However, although it seems to depend on education level and gender, Singlish common usage in Singaporean society also has its own worth as a tool for building solidarity and authentic communication. A famous government-led campaign called Let's Connect, Let's Speak Good English, created in 2019, sparked a new conversation on the arousal of Singlish and its relationship with English. Though it is apparent that the government has constantly helped many different people from a variety of backgrounds, it's in contrast to the movement goals, which is to create a homogeneous society where its ethnic group speak only one language, standard English. The effect of rebranding can be found, but Singlish has become deeply rooted in the identity of locals. There will always be a tug of war between Singlish and English. Therefore, the goal of the more recent Speak Good English movement has changed to pushing for the coexistence of English and Singlish.